Welcome back to Agent Tactics. My guest today is Rick Lee. Now, Rick Lee and I have been friends for a long time. We've done a lot of events together. We've hung out at Town Fair. We've hung out at real events. I love Rick Lee. What's interesting about Rick is he's a really good connector. And so him and I have been connecting on stuff. Now, you'll notice on Agent Tactics about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I had, well, Rod, who's on here, but I had Bill Olson. Bill Olson had this new kind of style Instagram, and he kind of laid the groundwork with this new style Instagram, and he was starting to get really good leads. He'd met with the mayor, all this fun stuff. Rick's like, dude, I'm getting so many leads from a very similar process. Let me show you how I'm getting these leads. And I was shocked. So fast forward like 3 days, I put a video out there and I just did one of the small tweaks that he said. As if you were listening before the pre-roll here, I literally just sent a $10 million building referral to my friend in Austin, and I'm getting so many leads from Instagram and from TikTok. It's wild. So, Rick Lee, welcome to Agent Tactics. I'm ready to dive in.
What's up, man? How's it going? I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know it was like yesterday.
Yes, 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 yes. Appreciate you having me, Jeremy.
Awesome. All right, everybody, if you're ready to get started, hit a one in the chat. Just I want to make sure that we're ready to roll. Rick, walk me through. Let's start at the very beginning. I want to dumb this down for Jeremy, not for people in the chat, but for Jeremy. What I want to start with the style of content that it is working, okay? And then we're going to go through how you're doing that because it's a little bit different than what Bill Olson was doing, but very similar. And then I want to go through the process of how you're coming up with the video background of what you're doing. And then I want to go through how you're converting these leads because the conversion is important. How many people can get leads but can't convert? Raise your hand in the chat or just raise your hand on the call. And so let's start with your content style and what you're doing, what platforms you're doing on. As you do that, I'll pull it up.
So I actually tried this about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. But the difference was I wasn't doing it green screen style. I was sitting here in my studio. I paid an editor to overproduce it and have the background change and do all that stuff. And I actually got good response. I had someone reach out to me and said, "Hey, I found you on the internet. You seem like you're the Airbnb guy for Long Beach and Orange County." What I didn't do is I wasn't consistent with it, right? And I was watching Bill Olson, who I love and who is speaking at REVB.
Shout
If you
out,
know.
shout out, Bill Olson. Hit him up in the DMs.
um, I was watching what he was doing, and I was impressed. Right, he was consistent. He was bringing value to the consumer, and I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people miss is, us realtors want to promote ourselves. We want to talk about ourselves. We want to talk about all of our sales, and that's cool to a certain point. But you got to bring value to people that are following you. And for me, I kind of look at it like, hey, if I live in this area, what do I want to know? So, yeah. So I was following Bill. I saw what he was doing, and I have a video background. I've had a video production business for 15 years. I've traveled the world, shooting sports media. And so I know how to edit, I know how to shoot, and I've just kind of took what Bill and I think Katie Day's doing that, Roland Osage, and just added a little bit of my skill set, as far as like the edits. And then also if I know a new development is happening or I want to go shoot, my own stuff, I'll drive there and I'll bust out my phone. And I also have a lot of content that I've saved, right? Like I have a Dropbox folder that is on my phone for different cities. And if I go to those cities, I'll bust out my phone and I will shoot B-roll there and keep it, right? So when I have these type of edits, I have B-roll to use. So but yeah, I've been consistent for about 4 months now. I'm sorry, 4 weeks, 4 months, 4 weeks. And it took some time to, I think, for my audience to want to desire the content, because then I was getting views, I was getting shares, and that's where it kind of snowballed for me as far as like just testing out what the content worked, what content worked. And then when I found that, it was awesome, man. I've been consistent. I wake up every morning, I shoot a video, I post it. And I think that's what, my followers are looking for.
So how many days a week are you posting videos?
At least 5 days a week. If Saturday and Sunday something comes up, I'll post something. But I've also learned that it's timing too. Like I posted a great video on Sunday night and it flopped, right? And I think if I would have waited Monday morning, it would have been different. So learning, the algorithm, learning when to post, I think is important as well.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's talk about the content itself. What is the content, and how are you finding the content?
So Newsbreak, I don't know if you guys, have that app or follow that website. It's like a news aggregator. You can put in the city that you want to follow, and you'll get alerts on your phone on breaking news or different things. So I go on Newsbreak, I go on the Orange County Register, a bunch of Long Beach websites to just find news. But what I love about Newsbreak is they will post something that is not like big news. And if you can spin it in your own way to like make it exciting for your community, it is big news, right? And so you'll have these smaller sites that will post, like I did something about the 405 freeway, being rebuilt, and the 405 freeway here is huge, right? And so it was not even on a big news website, but the way I wrote the script and posted, I think, I don't know, there's 80 or 90,000 views on it. People are sharing, people are commenting. So yeah, so every day I'm just trying to find new stuff, and
Okay,
I'll even
so you're
write
going to so you're going to Newsbreak, you're going to your local business websites. Like I use a lot is Community Impact in Austin. I use Austin Business Journal. What
yeah.
exactly is the content that you're breaking?
Well, new developments are huge, right? Right now, the trend is like commercial spaces are being bought by developers and it's mixed use. So that's very controversial, right? People are like, I don't want more apartments. We don't need this. This is going to raise rent. So it's everything from that, and then it's like little things like here in Southern California, like every parent and every person hates e-bikes, right? So I'll find a story on e-bikes, and that one did pretty well as a really hyper local area that doesn't have that many people, but there's good clientele there. I've sold there before, so I had a lot of people at my son's school say, "Hey, I saw your video," which is cool. And I know Bill's a local celebrity as well, so it's cool to share the content and then have people recognize it. I mean, I had friends from high school saying, "Hey, man, I had a guy text me yesterday. He's like, 5 people sent me your video." So it's all about branding. It's all about being top of mind, and it's all about delivering value to the people that are following you instead of saying, "Hey, look what I sold."
Yeah, I think that's a big problem that, all of us agents are told to always be selling, right? Always be closing, have a hook. We're going to talk about, having a different style hook versus having a close to call me to buy or sell a home hook. In the chat, real quick, I am going to put this because I don't know if many of you know. I take these calls and I cut them up and put a playbook associated with them. Um, I will put the link. Let's see. So, this is my stand store. I think there's only like one thing that's charged on here. It's my YouTube masterclass, which is 25 bucks. It's like really, really expensive. But what I do is if I can put this in there. All of the old videos that we do are right here, agent tactic videos, and right above here is the agent the playbooks. So why I'm bringing this up now is not a sales pitch. I promise you. It's I want you to go back and refer to a couple of these. Number one is the Raj Sahu for if you're doing property tours. But the one I want to talk about, because he's in the chat right here, Rod Alawan, he did a really great one. We have got YouTube ones. Preston's was pretty impressive. This one right here with Christy Jinks was really, really, really great. But Bill, where the heck is, there you are. Bill Olson. So similar style that I'm doing is Bill's style right here. So I'll put this link in here in just a second so you can find those. So this is what we're referring to when we're talking about Bill and everybody else. So, but okay, so we've got the news. Okay, we have the video we want to do. Are you taking the article or whatever and then putting it in Chat GPT to create a script? How does that work?
Yeah, so I'll use ChatGPT to kind of to summarize it, right, and break it down. I always ask ChatGPT to make it, a certain amount of time, either 60 seconds or 45 seconds. And then I think the most important thing is going and reading it and taking out and adding things. It's so funny because I could see other realtors basically just reading exactly what ChatGPT is giving them. And that's okay, right? I mean, most of the time it's correct, and but it does sound, I don't know, a little robotic sometimes. So I'll go in and I'll read it multiple times and kind of change the script to kind of sound like me, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'll use ChatGPT, put it in the teleprompter. I also record it one take, so I don't break my edit up. I just want one full take of me reading it clean. So then it's just an easy edit for me.
Bill, what do you got?
So, Rick, try this. Instead of having AI write your script and then going in and trying to change it, I'll keep prompting it to just give me a list of like the five biggest takeaways that like the public should know. And then I just use those and I can type up a script faster than if AI did it and then having to recheck it and do it. So I'm like, just
Yeah.
give me like the top five bullet points that people need to know. I have that on one screen and Google Docs open on the other, and I can type it up. It saves me a lot of time. I used to do the AI thing, but doing it that way makes it so much easier.
Well, yeah. I mean, so when I
But
put
it's
it
whatever
through
works for you.
ChatGPT,
That's just kind of how I've been doing it recently.
I think the most important thing too, and Bill, I'm sure you'll agree with this, is like you have to speak directly to your audience. If you live in Huntington Beach, if you live in San Francisco, if you live in Florida, if you live in Southern California, because you want to stop the scroll. I feel like that hook is the most important thing, right? The other thing too that I think a lot of agents fail when they're producing this content is that you have to keep the viewer engaged, right? Like, what are they going to hear next? Just like,
Yeah.
Jeremy teases throughout this whole, the stream, right? You have to kind of tease a little bit through the video as well. But that's a great tip, Bill.
So, okay, so okay, let's back it all up here. So we find an article, we run it through AI, come up with a script, put it in a teleprompter. All right, we've got that down. Now we're gonna shoot the content. We've shot the content, we've done teleprompter. What's next? How are you editing this? And how hard is it to edit these videos? Because you told me something on Wednesday that I was like, holy crap, I wish I had known about that. So how are you editing them? And then I want to know how you're getting the B-roll stacked in there too.
So I'm, yeah, shooting it on my camera. I'm putting it into CapCut. I'm removing the background. This background is exactly what I shoot all of my videos on. I'm not doing it vertical. I'm doing it 16 by 9 here as you see me. Um, and then I am just taking, like I said, B-roll that I've already shot, or I'm also using AI to generate video to use in some of my edits as well. Or I'll just go on my phone and send the article to my phone, or go to a website and screen record my phone, just me scrolling through the website. That's the fastest way to capture content, right? Even on my website, when I'm going through different properties, then I save it and I just upload it to Dropbox. My Dropbox is here and I have access to it. So it's all about speed, right? We don't want to spend all day on these edits, but what we want to do is we want to be efficient. And when I don't have any B-roll, all I do is come back to the article, right? Because I mean, that's what we're talking about. So yeah, I have footage that I've already shot. I have a drone. I've shot a bunch of stuff in a bunch of cities. If I know where the place is, or I can shoot B-roll myself, I'll drive there. Like if I have an article that I see say at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday, and I'm on my way to the office or I'm going to drop my son off at school, I'll stop by the development or the wherever I'm going and shoot some B-roll just to add into the edit as well.
So I want to show you a little bit. So I'm going to click through a couple of these so you can see different styles, okay? And then we'll come back to this. So I want to pull up Venus Howard. So Venus is here in the chat. So Venus started doing this the other day, and if you look, she texted me right before this because I'm bringing this up for a point. She just said, man, Instagram didn't do as well, but TikTok blew up. And this is what's happening for me. Some of my Instagram videos go freaking crazy, and some of my TikTok ones go crazy. It's never the same. But I want to, oh, did I share where you can hear it? Let's see.
And Sora is the Chat GPT video image generator that I'm using.
Sorry. So that's one. What I'll get back to the AI in a second. Sorry. So this is one. Here's Bill Olson's, right? Here's Bill Olson's. What I love about this community is look at that, 30,000 followers now from using this style. So Bill's very similar. And one I think that you really got to follow because his style is just a little bit different, but it's the same thing, right? Is Rod, who's in the video here as well. So he does like a 2-in-1 screen, right? This is you can use a double take app or whatever. Look at that, 213 likes. Okay, so I just want to share this that way you're seeing it. But what was the app again that you're using for AI to generate the video?
Sora.
Sora, how do you spell that?
Sora. It's a open AI. If you pay for ChatGPT, you have access to it.
Okay.
It's limited amount. You can produce a limited amount per month for the free version, or you can upgrade. But I even make it vertical content, so I don't have to resize it as well. So
Okay.
I could say, like, for example, I showed you in one of my videos, I was like, give me an aerial shot of San Juan Capistrano. You have to be careful because sometimes people are walking backwards, cars are driving backwards, people are missing arms, so make sure you're paying attention to what you're producing, but it's pretty good, right? No one's ever called me out on it. No one's ever questioned it. It looks pretty real. And if you're cutting it in with other footage, it works.
Venus says, is that videogram or ideogram is a good way to create realistic photos?
Yeah, it's ideogram.
Ideogram. Awesome. This is how cool this community is. So Venus was on that call with Bill. She's starting to implement this, and now we got to start converting some leads, right, Venus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, all right. We've gotten through how we're getting the content, right? We're not always going to be talking about, new construction or buildings or look at me, I'm a realtor. We're doing an intro to the video, which is a hook, right? It's Austin, Texas is getting the craziest new convention center. Can you believe it? Right. So good hook. We're taking ChatGPT, we're putting in ChatGPT, we're creating the video, blocks for it. We're using Sora or Ideogram to put the back videos, however you're going to do it, using CapCut to take yourself out and do a green screen. Then we're going over to Instagram. We're putting the title block like how we saw in Rick's. We're putting what about the text inside or what are you doing? What I'm doing, I'm sure this might be different, is I'm going to ChatGPT, say, now use this and create an Instagram post.
Description.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm taking that, so it's really SEO rich, and I'm throwing that into the thing as well, into the description with a few tags, and then I'm putting my information in there, right? So looking to buy or sell, text whatever to this phone number or DM X, right? Is that what you're doing on the videos, on the descriptions?
Yeah. And I coach with Will Draper. One thing that he said is on the second line, you have to tell the audience what you want, right? Comment below, send me a DM, share with a friend. So it's like, Austin is getting a new mall, or a new development coming to Austin, below that, share this with a friend, comment below. And I can get into the 3 buckets of content or the 3 styles of content if you want, Jeremy.
Go for it. Let's go.
Yeah, so I think it's important to not always ask, right? So some of the content that I'll produce is, hey, share this with a friend, right? It's not very controversial. It's just informative.
You're
You
saying this
know,
in the video. You're
I'll say
saying it
that
in
at
the
the
video.
end.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
at the end. But also, I know that it's not going to get a lot of comments, right? It's like the whole e-bike thing. Yes, some people will be like, oh, we need to get these kids off the street or whatever. But most of the time, people are going to go, oh, did you hear about this? And they're going to hit share. So you want to remind people. What I was doing before, as I was like, comment, share, rewrite, all these things. You got to give them one thing to do, right? One thing to do. So every piece of content, I focus on one thing to do, right? So like for the e-bike one that I did, that was share this with a friend. If it's a controversial new development, comment below and let me know what you think. That will help the algorithm, right? You might get some nasty comments, you might get some positive comments, but the whole purpose is to get comments. And then the last one, and this is where I feel like I am getting
I got a
leads.
I got a lead right now from a video I just posted.
Beautiful.
Rock,
So
man.
so so where I'm getting leads or at least having conversations is like if you want more information, DM me the word, KBLB or Long Beach or new development or Jeremy Knight, whatever, right? So that's where I'm able to have conversations and then take it from Instagram to a text message or a phone call.
So 3 different styles, right? Share,
Comment,
comment, DM,
DM.
X. Okay.
Yeah.
And which one of those is driving the most leads?
DM.
DM. Okay. And that's where we're going to go next. So don't just say DM, 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 DM every video. Otherwise, you're going to wear people out and they're not going to do it. Right. So the same thing is like on YouTube. I don't do the same exact content every single week. Right. It's different content because people stop watching. Bill says, quick question. How much time do you spend writing the video description? Do you think it's important or not? I don't really write anything except a title and ask for comments. Like I said, I literally take the script that I wrote, put it in ChatGPT and write me a YouTube description or Instagram description, take that and literally copy it and paste in each one. So like 13 seconds, Bill.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think it's important to have words that you're saying in the script in the description because I feel like the algorithm is like matching those up, right? If you're saying Charleston, 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 right? They're going to feed it to people in Charleston, right? If there's a text on there, there's audio and then it's in the description, they're going to say, okay, this is valid content and this is where I'm going to send it, right? You're telling it where to go. In my opinion, I could be totally wrong, but that's what I think.
Well,
Perfect.
thanks. 'Cause
Okay.
I haven't done it yet. I just kind of like throw it out there and it's been working, but I've been thinking of like trying it, but I just forget. So I wanted to know what you were doing. Thanks.
But Bill, you're doing fine.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
does anybody find it cool that you can jump in like an ecosystem or community like this and everybody shares? If you think that it's cool that people are sharing and learning, even Bill, who came in and taught, is learning something. Even me, who thinks I'm a YouTube aficionado, I learn something every time we do something here. On like last week was crazy because we had Christian Clay, and I thought I knew everything about YouTube, and this guy dropped a video, like a video style. I was like, fuck, why wasn't I been doing that? This makes it so much easier. Why wasn't I doing this? This is so great for my team. So, all right. So
It's
let's go ahead.
Very quick. Yeah, this is the best. We call it collaboration, but I mean, I didn't know anything like 5 years ago, and I saw Jeremy doing YouTube videos. I'm like, damn, if this guy can do it.
Yeah.
Right. So if you do what you kind of take a blend. Who are you, right? You want to be yourself. You want to take a blend of people. Okay, who's most like me, and then follow that style. But you just got to do it. But if you do what other successful people do, you will be successful too. And we're always looking to how can we do things better. Jeremy reached out to me a couple of days ago, dude, you got to be on this because there's something in here that's going to turn things around as far as leads and stuff like. So I'm like, I'm all in. Last week we had another Agent Tactics with Tim Macy. So it's all about, hey, this is how to do it, but you still got to do it. So I take stuff from you, I take stuff from Bill, I take stuff from Jeremy, I take stuff from other people on this channel because this is our focus. You know, it's not all noise. It's like, this is what we're doing. We love to add value to people. It's a hell of a lot better than calling expireds and everything like everyone's doing and FISBOs. Man, if you can give value without asking for business, but still be top of mind, and that's your brand, they know you're a realtor.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get it. And then you're going to get people who are just like you. People work with people who are just like them. And that's what you're trying to be. You're trying to just be you, and you will attract you. So
100%.
many of us want to work with ourselves all day long.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if I want to work with me,
Yeah.
but I'll send that check in the mail to you, Rod. Just keep an eye out for it. All right, let's get into the leads. All right, we took 28 minutes about how to do it. Now let's talk about how to get these MFN leads, and let's get some business. How are we getting the leads?
I mean, so I have done a tour of a new development, right? I didn't put the address. I didn't say where it was. I didn't even give the name of the community. And I said, if you want more info, DM me, KBLB, right? So that's created a lot of opportunity for me. And once you have someone in the DMs, there's two ways to do it, right? I tried the
Wait, hold on.
ManyChat
Let's
way.
take a step back. Take one step back. How am I getting people to DM me?
At the end, it's a call to action, or on the second line, DM me for more info on the community, right?
DM me what,
Because
though? DM me, is there a word? DM me.
DM me KBLB, DM me new development, DM me Jeremy Knight, whatever you want to say. Where it works better, I think, is I first was saying comment this, right? And people would comment, and if you have ManyChat and it sends them automatically a message, if they don't follow you, you can't send them the message, right? So I feel like when you say DM me, there is more purpose behind it. This person is serious, right? So if they're sending me a DM, then I can send them a DM. So it's opening up this channel, right? You might get more people saying in the comments, but if someone's going to DM you, they're serious about getting more information. And at first, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, at first, I was just creating little one page, informational guides or whatever, kind of giving them some of the information. But I just discovered, just give them everything that they want, right? So if it's the new development, I just send them right to the website. And then I'm like, hey, do you have any questions? They're like, yeah, I have this house. I'm thinking about selling it, but I'm not sure about this new development. Like, what do you think? Hey, are you open to jumping on a call? For sure. I get off at work at 5. Let's chat about it.
See what
it's
you're
really
missing,
that
Rod?
simple.
See what you're missing, Rod? You're doing all of those videos about Wayfair. You're doing all those Mayfair, all those videos about Costco, all those videos. And all was one simple tweak where you said, hey, if you want more information on the neighborhood, just DM me the word Wayfair or Mayfair. It's Mayfair. I see you doing all these videos.
So you don't name the community, just say it's our newest master plan community. You don't the name of it, or
well, yeah, I was just like, KB Home. If you're interested in new construction in Long Beach, this community's for you. KB Homes just developed 20 new homes. They're anywhere from a 2-bedroom to a 4-bedroom. They're 1,500 square feet to 4,000 square feet. Blah 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 blah. Giving all the details, right? Because if I give them the name of the community, all they can do is search it on Google.
Yeah.
Right. So then it just opens up. Even if I send it to them and they say, thanks. And I'm like, let me know if you have any questions. It's an at bat.
Yeah.
Right. I'd rather have that at bat than not have any line of communication with them.
Okay. Gotcha. That's golden. Yeah. I'll
that one little tweak, even taking it from the comments to saying DM me, helped me tremendously as well.
So what I did is I had my VA create a landing page about Hutto, and I said, yeah, DM me the word Hutto. And so I sent them the landing page for Hutto on my website.
For Lofty?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing that I've learned too is at first I wanted people to register in Lofty to get the information, right? And people don't like that. They don't want to give you their info. But if you're human, right, and you're not just sending them a link, And you're like, hey, how's it going? What I always try to do is like, how's your Tuesday going? So they know it's not a bot, right? Or ManyChat. They're like, oh shit, this is a real person, you know? Until it gets crazy where I can't handle it, I'm going to keep trying to keep it like me doing it because I feel like I have a better conversion rate and I can follow up faster than just having ManyChat just send them a link.
What's your
Can you-
conversion
Okay.
rate with IG right now? How many are you closing a month? You
I
just
mean, I
started.
just started this 4 weeks. Yeah. So I have a listing that I'm about to sign, and I have like 4 buyers that I'm working with right now. This takes time, right? Like just like if you're like I started my career door knocking, right? I door knocked 4 days a week for 8 months. I got 3 listings off that. If I would have gave up month 1, I would have had 0 listings. You have to be consistent. And my whole thought process is I'm giving value, 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 value. Like I'm about to release a pretty sweet listing video on Wednesday, and they're just going to keep on seeing all this value, value, value. And then I post a really sweet listing video. Maybe I'll put some money behind it and boost it to everyone that's visited my Instagram. I don't tell them the address. I don't tell them the city. It's just a really nice house. And then hopefully they'll inquire more and either go, hey, this guy does badass listing videos. I'm going to hire him to list my house. Or, hey, we're interested in buying. Where's this house at?
Yeah.
So walk me through one more time listings. Are you giving out the address for the listings or not?
No. So if you go on my Instagram, I jump over a house. It's like on my top. I pinned it. I did not tell anyone where the city was or the address. I got 25 DMs. This was a while ago. This is before I was doing all of the value content for the local developments. And I learned right there.
This one, the completely remodeled one?
Yeah. I did not tell them what city it's in or the address. And I got so many people raising their hand going, hey, I'm interested.
I'm gonna play it real quick.
This is an opportunity you want to jump into. As you walk in the home, the floors are high-end luxury vinyl, durable and stylish. In the kitchen, everything is brand new, from high-end appliances to the stunning porcelain countertop and island. Both bathrooms were fully redone with new tubs, toilets, sinks, and cabinets. Every
That's just
detail was
voiceover right
carefully
there.
chosen to make this home truly one of a kind. If you're interested in a private tour, my name is Rick Lee with Real Broker, and I'll catch you on the next one.
I fucked up and
Go ahead.
I messed up and I didn't ask them to DM me. If I would have said that, I probably would have got more, right? We were running out of time. But I got a lot of messages when I posted it on my story and just people seeing it because other people shared that video. People sent me DMs. They're like, hey, what city is this in? And what's the address? And then I'm like, all right, here's the open house. This is the city. How long have you been searching? You know, and I sent 5 people to the open house. It was my agent's listing. We co-listed it, but I sent 5 people to the open house and one of them wrote an offer on it.
Oh, nice. Venus, what's your question?
I actually just had a tip. Dan Parker has this lead magnet, and if I was moving to a new area, this has so much value in my opinion. So he breaks it down by county. So it's new construction, and he has each of the new construction places, and then links. And then granted, he's given away the farm when he's given links to the builder, but you have to give him here information to get these. So I also coach with Will Draper, and he told me to kind of look to see what Dan was doing. And I just thought this was absolutely incredible. So yeah, just wanted to give that tip too, as far as a lead magnet goes. Just say if you want my information, and he gathers this, and I just thought it was incredible. So I thought I'd share.
Sweet. Bill said he found, so I actually noticed this the other day. So basically, IG reels are getting indexed on Google. I literally, I'm not even kidding, that Hutto video. I just typed in Hutto because I was looking up something, and it literally had my Hutto video like right there for people to watch. I was like, oh crap, on Instagram. So that's why I like doing suburbs or talking about suburbs or talking about the area you're in. This is why it's important to continue to make content about the area you're in versus just kind of like just house tour videos. Now that all works, right? There's so many ways to skin this cat. I think the biggest mistake a lot of us have made is we give up too much information and we don't say DM me for the rest, right? Because that's a big problem I've had on YouTube too. I give up way too much information and I don't ask people to reach out, right? Or at the right time, I'm not asking people to reach out the right way. So what are the questions we got for people in the chat? I think we've kind of really hit this. We can go through how to do mini chat or something like that, but to save everybody time, if you want to Google how to do mini chat, or I mean, if you really want to sit through 5 minutes of Rick Lee messing around in mini chat, we can do that too.
It's pretty simple what I would say. So me and Will walk through like a very complex, like if they do this, do this. If they do that, do this. Look, if you're getting a ton of reach out, it might be the way to go. But I personally think if you're posting a video and say you're getting 50 people over a week, I would rather personally nurture them in the sense of like, I can point the direction, the conversation in the way I want it to go. I think I'll have a better chance of converting them and getting them either on a phone call or, getting their information and texting them. But ManyChat is a great option. I just right now I really want to convert these, so I want to put the extra time and energy into them.
Simple question that's just about Instagram in general. I see a lot of people have the verified. Does that make a difference? Like I think it's just a $25 a month subscription.
I think it's $11.99. I mean, yeah, I mean it shows that you showed Instagram your driver's license, right? And you're a legit person. The one thing I will say though, a lot of people they're like, hey, can you send me your license number? I need more information on you, right? So people are like this one client, she dug deep, right? So I think having a verification mark on your Instagram, I think is a good thing.
Bill agrees. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So the other thing too that I did. Go ahead.
So here's a conversation I had with my wife she's not on Instagram, but she knows about it. And someone had like commented something stupid on my videos and I was showing her and she like looked at their account and she's like, how are they verified? Like they only have 400 followers. The general public doesn't really realize that you can pay to become verified. So to the general public, having that is like this badge of honor. And I think like if you're doing the news and the stuff like this, it adds to that trust of this guy is legit. Rick is legit. He's got the little verified badge. They don't know that Rick and I pay every month just to have that little check mark up there. And I never realized that until my wife said that. And I was like, oh, wow, like she doesn't even know that I paid to get that. She just thought that I started doing this and I got it. And they asked me for it. So look at it from that perspective that if you start growing this and scaling it, it will build trust with your audience because they think that only celebrities can get it because that's how it's always been.
Yeah. The other thing I will say is in the very beginning, I've boosted content before, like I'll boost listings. And I did a hyper local video of something in my neighborhood that I farm and I wanted to boost it, right? And I think I said city council in the video. And so they thought it was a political ad, right? Meta thought it was a political ad. So they made me confirm I had to upload my driver's license. They had to send me a form to fill out and upload and confirm my identity because I wanted to boost this, which it wasn't a political ad. It was just something saying, hey, city council did this awesome thing about what's going on in the neighborhood. And then all of a sudden I got way more reach. And I think Meta just looked at me and said, okay, this guy is a real person and is legit after I did that. So I don't know how it got flagged. I think it automatically got flagged, like I said, from me saying city council. And then after I got that verified, I even got more of a reach, I think.
That's really interesting. I've tried to boost several things. They keep saying I did something naughty, whatever they actually say. I don't remember, but it makes no sense. And so I'll try that.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. Learn something new. I got to get verified. I got to pay money to get verified to be the cool kids. Speaking of cool kids, hey, do you do any other trainings on Instagram or do you like do a Real Academy class or anything like that?
Me and Roland Osage are about to start a Real Academy class here shortly, so keep you guys
What
posted.
days is that going to be?
We haven't got that far. We haven't got
Okay.
that far.
I do
Yeah.
a Real Academy class every third week of the month. Me and Trey do one on video. Bill, do you have a Real Academy class, right?
I do for YouTube, which is kind of
Yeah.
still funny because
Dude, YouTube sucks, man.
I
I'm just
know.
kidding.
And I
I
will
literally
say
just,
though, I have been putting these on as shorts. They don't
Yeah.
really do anything, but I syndicate it everywhere. I mean, you talked about this earlier. Like some people are crushing this style on TikTok. Some people are on Instagram, maybe Facebook Reels. Like kind of throw it all out there. You'll have one platform probably that will take off. I started putting them on LinkedIn. Someone
Yeah.
told me to, because again, it's setting you up as the area expert, and it can't hurt. Whichever one takes off, like put your focus on that. But yeah, I have been. That's like the only thing I do on YouTube now until I get back into it. But I do have a YouTube class first Tuesday of every month.
Nice.
Well, also news break. You can post these as well. You can post shorts and articles. So I would look into that too, Bill.
Yeah, I always forget. We talked about that on my call this week for YouTube about like turning videos into blog posts and putting them out onto Newsbreak.
Well, no, you could actually upload shorts to Newsbreak, and then I actually had one
now?
Yeah, I had one pop up on my feed, and it was my video, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Nice.
Newsbreak.
Yeah,
huh?
I always forget about Newsbreak because I think that's another platform that like the public doesn't fully understand. That
Yeah,
they
even
don't
D in the
and they don't
D
employ
is
people.
saying D in the comments is saying, "What is Newsbreak? What is Newsbreak?"
They don't employ reporters. It's all
Yeah.
like crowdsourced. So you sign up to become a contributor. And that's why like when you get all those notifications, they're from all like the different news stations for that news. And then people look at you and they're like, oh, he reports on Newsbreak.
Yep.
Nice. I love that. Perfect. You know what's crazy is my YouTube videos, I do the same thing. I put these on YouTube. They do okay. But legit, if you don't think YouTube works, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. We just signed another $2 million buyer this week from YouTube. So, and I just closed a $5.05 million buyer from YouTube. So yeah, YouTube does not work. So don't do it. Don't watch any of the videos that I've done on YouTube. Don't follow the content I've done on YouTube because it does not work, especially Austin, Tom. YouTube in Austin does not work. Cool. Well, I appreciate everybody jumping in the community here. What other questions do we have for some of the people that are just crushing it? Kelly, I see you. I know you want to ask a question. Becky,
I
I
just
see you.
want to
D,
thank
come
you
on.
for clarifying, Jeremy. I mean, so I'm out. I'm dropping.
Yeah, YouTube sucks. Don't do it, especially any Austin agents. And you know what? This Instagram thing doesn't work in Austin. Kelly, you can
So
do
I've
it, but
seen.
nobody else in Austin.
So I
Go
want
ahead,
to say
D.
one thing about this.
No, I want to
Like,
hear from D. She unmuted herself. She wants to say something. D, what's up?
Oh, well, so I've like kind of just started doing Instagram relatively recently, and since I've been a little bit more consistent, which I'm not as consistent as I should be, I know. I got like 100 followers, 100 more followers, and I'm only at about 550 right now. But what I'm seeing is that only agents, I mean, like I think 90% of agents are my followers. I'm like clearly not reaching the right audience.
Yep.
And I do use descriptions and to obviously try to tell IG that I'm talking to the audience in the city of Chicago or in Chicago neighborhoods if I'm doing listing videos or buyer or seller like educational stuff. That's basically what I'm doing.
Well, I wouldn't stress about that. I know because like my Instagram, I was doing like real estate stuff for realtors on Instagram. I was doing so much. And then I moved. So Agent Tactics now has its own IG. You can follow it. We do different clips of this on there. You can always reach out to me on my main Instagram if you have questions. But what I noticed is that in the last 4 weeks, the amount of people, the shift to people being in Austin following me grew exponentially in the last 4 weeks. So I think if you just be consistent, don't worry about realtors. Cause look, I get so many referrals. I mean, literally, I just got a referral last night for 550,000. Brandy on my team is literally on a call right this moment with a buyer that came through as a referral. So don't stress about it. I would say, hey, I would find a way in your stories, like, hey, agents, I see a lot of you are following me. I'd always love to be your referral girl here in Chicago. Right? Lean into a little bit, but don't do it I wouldn't do it on your main IG, but like in your stories.
Got you. Thank you.
Oh, and speaking of stories, Bill, this is your opportunity to talk about that nugget in stories. Holy crap, this actually works really, really well. If you stayed around for 48 minutes, this little dandy that Bill's about to drop, Rod, perk up the ears. I forgot about this one. Bill, tell them about the survey you're doing or the polls.
So a lot of my lead gen has come from stories and putting polls out. So as your followers grow, like before I started this, like if my stories hit 3 digits, like 100 people, I was like ecstatic. I was like, I'm like the king of the world on Instagram. My story reached 100 people. Now they reach between 3,000 to 6,000 people. So as it's growing, put stories out, and the stories can be your active lead gen. Put a poll in it. I did one, and I was sitting in an inspection. I took a picture from the MLS of the house. I'm like, inspection day, proof of a promise. My clients got under list price and all closing costs paid. And then I did a poll that was, are you thinking of purchasing a home in 2025? And I had 3 options. Yes, let's chat. Maybe. And then I'm waiting for interest rates to get down to 3% again. And I did that on purpose. And I've been doing that. I scheduled 4 calls from that story from people that said yes. Everyone who responded got a DM. It was over 100 people responded to that poll. The yes, schedule a call. 4 calls scheduled. The maybe, ask some more questions. I actually scheduled 1 call from that, 3 calls from the yes. The 3% answer was very purposeful because it gave someone something to click on as opposed to just moving to the next story. If they weren't a yes or a maybe, they're like, I need 3% rates. They're probably just angry. I had, I think, like 75 to 80% of my responses to that poll were that 3%. Most agents would get combative, like rates are never going to be at 3%, blah, 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 blah. I thanked every single one of them for following me or watching my content. And that was it. I may have asked them the question like, hey, if there's any types of projects or anything you would like to see me report on, just let me know. I engaged them. I acknowledged them. And I do that at least once a week with stories, and always have that throwaway answer to get more engagement. That's not so you have like lead gen, maybe some lead gen, and just make them click something because they're angry. Yeah. Answer. So instead of 15 responses, you get 115 responses. And then your story gets to another 2,000 people because of the engagement. And it's active lead gen, not waiting for people to call you.
What's funny is there's a realtor in Austin that keeps taking my news. Like I do like a post, right? So it's a post with information in there. She keeps taking and sharing that and then saying, hey, if you need an agent in Austin, I'd love to be your source. Meanwhile, she's sharing another realtor's post. So every time she does it, I DM her. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm so glad realtors can share each other's content like this. And like, I always like message her because I'd love to have an actual chat with her one day. And she's hit me up every now and then, but it's just like, you do realize you're taking somebody else's like real estate content and sharing it and then asking for business. Why don't you just create your own?
Thanks for calling me. Thanks for calling me cheap.
Yeah.
If you guys are going to Rev B, you'll hear me say this, but like when you do this or whatever you do, make sure that your marketing is so damn good that your competitors are sharing it.
Yeah.
Every video I do gets shared by other realtors, and I say I'm a realtor at the end of every single video.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Rick's got to bounce out of here. He's got an appointment, so he's got a buyer a call because of all this. So Rick, we'll let you bounce out of here. We'll stick around for a few more minutes if anybody else has any more questions, and then we'll get out of here. Thank you. By the way, thank you, Rick. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Rick.
it.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Rick.
Yeah, let's connect on Instagram, and hope to meet all of you soon.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, reach out to Rick. He's really active in our agent community. So he shares a lot with our real community. So definitely feel free to reach out to him. And then very soon at REVB. Now I have a conflict with REVB. How many people are going to REVB? Just type a Y in the chat so I know who's going. Does anybody not know what REVB is? I'll elaborate real quick. REVB is Real Estate Video Blueprint. This year it's going to be in San Antonio. It's in April. There you go. Bill just put the link. I am not going to go this year. And I might go for a couple hours, but my son has baseball straddling both days, and my son is hitting tanks right now. So that's a little more important than Video Blueprint. So I've decided I am going to raffle off my ticket next week on Phil Gertis. Phil Gertis is joining us. He's got a 90-day challenge. And so if you want to be on next week's course or class, I'm going to put the link this video. So the link you use to register for today is good every single Thursday. It's the same exact link. The only thing that changes is a picture of the person on there. So you can take the video link that you got and put it into your schedule. 10 a.m. every Thursday, we do Agent Tactics. So it's the same link, nothing changes. If you found value in today, also just put a big TY in the, or a 1 in the chat. So make sure you got value out of this. What other questions we got before we go?
Oh, I got a quick question for Bill.
Yep.
So Bill, what you're putting in your stories only home solds, or it could be a controversial story about something coming to town in development. Is it both, or is it just one? And about
so I've been looking at it as the reels are what gets you the reach, the followers, that authority, that trust. You're becoming this local celebrity who's taking on legacy media. Essentially, you're not putting anything behind a paywall. And then when you get to your stories, I do a lot more day-to-day real estate stuff. Hey, I'm showing this house. Sometimes it's just a random poll. Sometimes it's more lead gen as well. So I do mix it up in there. And all of it is to just create engagement, because the more people are engaging with your content, the more Instagram's going to push it out. So like I did one, we sent an offer on this condo. So I had a picture of the condo, and the poll it was like, just send an offer. Do you think my client's going to get it? And all 3 of them were yes answers, just written differently. And I got a great response from it, but it wasn't a lead gen. It was just hey, look, I'm doing real estate. And then the next day I was able to repost that poll with you guys were all right, she got it in there. So like that was just kind of that reminder that I'm in real estate.
We dropped one a couple of days ago and called it a, hey, guess the price. Over 100 comments.
That's a good one.
So instead of just a repulsive, oh my God, look at my new house. It was just like, hey, this is a unicorn in this market, in this price, and that's it. You just got to guess the price. And just over 100 comments. Really, just engagement is so important.
Yeah, I did one. So I'll do occasional like real estate content. My biggest video right now is almost at 850,000 views. There's this house downtown. So if you don't know, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. So we've got this huge historic district. Yeah. And one of the most prominent giant pink houses right on the water went for sale for $22.5 million. It's actually being sold by Scott Bessent, who's the Secretary of the Treasury now. And when it went up, I did the green screen, but behind me, I pulled up the Zillow listing on my phone and I screen recorded and I slowly went through the pictures. So then the bottom third of my screen had the address and the price right next to me. And I did a mini chat to send it just to a landing page I created on my website for that house to see everything. And I just created a quick script. I talked about the house and it went ape shit. Like 850,000 views. It still gets comments on it. And this was 3.5, 4 months ago that I made it. So like if it's a listing that's in your market and it's like the most expensive listing that has ever hit the market, just do a video like that. Just scroll Zillow on your phone and green screen you in front of it and just talk about it. And my mini chat was, I would comment wow for all the photos and pictures and details. And it has like thousands of comments on it.
One of the questions is here, guess the price. Is that a story or a real, Rod?
If what?
Your guess the price.
It was a real.
Yeah.
And
okay. I think like he 10, did a story.
Close to 9,000.
See, I would do that as a story.
Yeah.
With 3 options.
Well, that's you, Bill. Rod can do whatever he wants.
So, I know, but
man, God, this opinionated guy over here going to be on the stage of REVB. Got all the things to say.
So run the same video just in stories today and say, well, I've already run it. So on Instagram. So I'm just wondering how many. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can still do it, even though I've got over 100 comments from the reel.
Yeah, I would post it as a story too. Yeah.
Yeah. Post that reel into your stories.
Yeah.
With a poll underneath it and see how that works. You'll probably get quite a few responses.
I've got something to say. Is anyone not doing video on this page?
Oh, that's a good question. Who's not doing video? That's a good question. Is anybody not video? Okay.
So Jeremy said something a couple minutes ago. He said legacy media. Okay, I spent 9 years in media, on camera, producer, reporter, the whole 9 yards. So television, I got out of it because it was the same shit, just a different day. And that was making no difference, I felt. But television has been dying on the vine for years. And it's because they can't afford to be hyper local. So if you're sitting in your city right now, and you're going, wow, we've got ABC, CBS, NBC. I can't possibly do what they're doing. Oh, you can do a lot more. You can do the story about a putt-putt golf course going dropped in the middle of a historic district. I mean, that doesn't make sense, right? But that's something they're not going to necessarily have. You can do a story about something coming to town that they're not going to have, something you drive by, and you see all of a sudden, okay, there's a fence around it. There's construction workers. Let me get out of the car and ask them what it's going to be. You are the media. How professionals or whatever, like older people look at the media has completely changed. We are now the media.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I get called by Newsweek once a month to go to be in articles in Newsweek because I'm so focused on hyperlocal. All right, everybody, thank you so much. It has been an hour. I got to jump off to my team call. We do team calls at 11 a.m. So I appreciate everybody that came on here. Again, if you ever want to reach out, have a chat, definitely reach out. And I appreciate everybody that joined. Rod, thanks, buddy.